at least half the time. So here we go. So today, welcome. You guys, I saw on the district email that when we go back to school, we don't start school. This is for you, Uriel. We don't start school till 8:30 in the morning. That's 45 minutes later than normal, so you can sleep in. Just saying. So remembering that a bunch of you other guys really want to sleep in too. What are we just finishing today? Talking about the cell and a little bit about cancer. I looked at Synergy, and what I'm going to say is 70% of you have your work in, but there's a few things due today. Chapter 1 vocab, so easy. That takes 10 minutes. The reflection, don't make it painful, like on physical therapy. If you didn't like physical therapy, tell me so. And you know what? This is a class about you. That's what I want to say. It's about you. So you don't have to like what I like. You don't have to like exactly, Kenneth. It's common sense. It's helping you think about, what I want to do that? Okay, so a lot of students are telling me constantly every year, I just want to do something interesting. And if it's not interesting, be specific and say why. And somebody did. I loved what somebody said. The reason that I don't want to be a physical therapist is that surgery interests me because I want to know that I've fixed something. You know what? I have heard so many surgeons tell me that that's what they love about their work, is that they go in, they make an incision, they fix what's broken, and they're out. And then at the end of the day, they feel like, hey, I fixed something. So that is a real common personality trait of people who love surgery. And there are other common personality traits. Here's one of mine. I like knowing the patient. I like knowing, how are they doing? Not just, did they fracture their ankle and we took them to surgery and fixed it, but how are they going to do their rehab? Who's their support people? And that's kind of, it figures in for somebody like me who's a teacher, right? Because I get to know my students for a whole year. And it's one of the reasons that distance learning makes me miserable. Just being honest, is because I love having you in front of me. I love talking to you in the morning. And so I'm glad we're going to get to do a little bit of that. So anyway, I'm going to try to get us out of here by 9:00. And what I want to have happen today is what I like to have happen in my classroom, which is not much homework over the weekend. And so that means that you use class time to finish one of the following: your vocab, your reflection, and turn it into me. You have a cell drawing that's going to be due. No big deal. We can call this the ugly cell project. So that's what's happening today. So let me turn off my phone so my husband won't text me during class. You might get a little ding on my computer. Okay, let's look at this cell drawing assignment. Guys, I'm sorry. Got to tell my son, there, sorry. So this is such a simple assignment. On a separate piece of paper, you can use your cell drawing from yesterday. It can be ugly, but you need to include all the things that are at the bottom of the page. All the things that are at the bottom of the page on our shared screen, and I'll show it to you in a minute. And then you need to color code it like I did. So my, hi, Dr. Romanek. So my nucleus and my nucleus label might be colored red. And you need to write in parentheses the function of that cell type. So please don't turn this into a weekend art project. Just put all the labels on the cell and their function, okay? So, hi, Dr. Ram. Can we hear you? I can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Dr. Ram. There we
go. There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
It's been quite a week with computers. I'm telling you, I'm glad I can join you today because it's been multiple computers giving me many difficulties. So anyway.
I am so sorry.
Yes, it can be frustrating.
So today, Dr. Romanek, we've been working hard all week, and today we're having a short day.
Okay.
So here's where we are. We're learning the parts of the cell, and we added a bunch in that weren't in their book, and we've been talking about melanoma.
Oh, okay, great.
Just
great.
As a subject. So just let me run through these things, and you might want to add in. So guys, these things at the bottom of, and this is from yesterday's class, all of these things need to go on your drawing. And each of them need to be color coded. And then you can take a picture of that drawing, and you can do one of two things with it. You can upload it through Canvas and turn it into me that way. You can also send it to my email. Just take a picture of it and send it to my email. Okay, good. So today I promised you some pictures of what cells look like and just some common features under a microscope of what a cancer cell might look like, remembering the following, and I wrote them on here. To avoid cancers, cells must accomplish these 3 R's, and there are other R's, but I'm teaching you the basics. So you're going to see this a week from today. We have a quiz. And no, are we teaching in-depth cancer physiology? No, but we're trying to answer this question. Why do I care? Why would I care enough to learn the parts of the cell? Because a lot of you are interested in disease process, but I'm glad Dr. Ram's here. Without knowing parts and function of a cell, you can't figure out what went wrong. So these 3 things. 1, a cell must be able to make itself correctly again, and the correct number of times. So remembering yesterday that I said telomeres, these endpoints on chromosome strands, count the number of replications. And when the number of replications is done for a cell, this is a healthy cell, it has a programmed death that it should have. It has done its job and a new cell has been made. That death is called apoptosis. We like it when a cell does this because it means it knows how long it lives. Okay, apoptosis means to fall down. Okay, interesting in Latin, isn't it? Okay, so a cell must be able to make itself again, probably its most important feature, and make the right recipe. Okay, it must also be able to recognize an error in its own function. And if it cannot repair, it must be able to destruct, or your immune system will destroy it. Okay, so this is all part of function. And this also gets back to our question that when a patient gets ill, they don't think about their cells generally. They generally are, I don't know how this happened. And how it happened was at a cellular level. So that's why in anatomy, right after we kind of get our bearings about, directions, we talk about cells. It doesn't matter whether the patient has skin disease or a brain tumor or heart disease. These are diseases of cells. Dr. Ram, do you want to toss anything in there?
No, I'll be honest. I'm very impressed with how well you're explaining this. You're doing
okay. So if the students are impressed, that'll make me even happier. So guys, one of my questions, and I'm going to ask it on our quiz, just, I never tell what's on quizzes, but I am going to put this on the quiz. What would you tell a patient that's a family member that isn't a medicine person? What would you say to them that cancer is? You can put that in the chat if you want, remembering that I still have my clinical questioning column going. Right here. So do you have something you want to say about that? If it's your sister or your auntie or someone that you love and they're like, I don't even know what cancer is. Did I get it like a virus? What's your answer to that? I'm just going to wait for a minute. So your Graham had breast cancer. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I wonder if is anyone in this class that doesn't have some family member that's had a cancer. They're extremely common, frankly. And they're not all fantastically dangerous. Some of them are kind of very treatable, big, high percentage treatable. Dr. Romanek and I have both had close family members that have passed away from cancer. So no ideas of how to explain. Okay, you know what? Rather than have Miss Ellis fill in the blank, why don't you think on that for Monday? And we'll ask the same question on Monday. Ooh, here's someone who has PARSA. The protein that controls the checkpoints of your cell cycle has undergone a mutation. Love it, a change, a mutation. And now your cells are dividing uncontrollably. You know what, Parsa? Well said. So if I'm your auntie, I'm going to say, what do you mean by mitosis? And you explained it, the division of cells, the replication of cells. Yeah, without control. So really, what I often have said is cancer, when I got cancer, it was really me. It wasn't like something that invaded me. It was just my cells lost their way. They lost the recipe and they lost the number of replications. Well said, Parsa. Awesome. Okay, so let's just look at these little microscope pictures. So here is a nucleus. And and here's a cancer nucleus. And so on this column, the pathologist who put this together is saying, here's what I look for. When I'm looking at cells, I'm looking to see, and guys, this is exactly how it works. For those of you that think that medicine is magic, somehow our public thinks, oh, people just know. No. This pathologist who put this slide together has in his mind things that he's checking the cells for. And that's what this column is. I'm checking. I'm looking at those nuclei and he's saying they're variably shaped. Look how even these are. And look at the shape of these. Okay. That variable shape is lending a clue to what Parsa was just talking about. Uncontrolled growth and division leads to things that are weirdly shaped. Okay, controlled growth, under the management of the nucleus, the right number of chromosomes and DNA being transferred and a recipe to the next cell perfectly. Just like if I decided to make chocolate chip cookies and not put any chocolate in, are they still chocolate chip cookies? If I decide to make coffee and I get my machine all set up and the right amount of water in my cup and my filter and everything's beautiful, but I only put a fourth of the coffee in, is it coffee coming out? No. So that's essentially the kind of an analogy to help you think about why being exact in medicine is such an important skill in our observations. So the next observation is, are there a lot of what I would call weirdly dividing cells? Look at how orderly this little group looks right here under the normal category. So you have these cell shapes look almost the same, very, very similar. They even all have that little purple tip right there. And then look at these cancer cells who seem to be doing kind of their own art project, like whatever they want. Okay, and also a lot more of them, and a lot more of them that don't look like each other. So, and by the way, guys, the more times a cell can change itself, the more dangerous it is. So I think of that like a superhero enemy that has 1,000 disguises. That's a really dangerous cancer. If a cancer can only make one little boo-boo, like if this is the 2 cells, and the only change is the fact that that's a little tiny bit dark purple, and it makes this cell over and over and over and over again, that's a lot easier for us to find a medicine to treat than one that's making one that looks different every single time. You're like, whoa, what is it doing now? Okay, then another variable, another observation, look at this constant shape. Hasn't changed much. And then, wow, huge variation in size and shape here. The last thing, the loss of normal features. And so for our patient, our child that had melanoma, the pathologist that looks at that child's slides under a microscope knows the normal physiology of what a melanocyte should look like. So this gets back to Dr. Ram again and saying, you have to know A and P before you can become a doctor or a nurse. You have to know, because you have to know when the person is out of homeostasis. So a melanocyte has a certain look. A cancerous melanocyte is going to look more like this, where you don't recognize the cell's features anymore. Okay, so this is how, quote, diagnosis is made. When someone has cancer, we don't make cancer diagnoses because the patient lost 20 pounds, or they feel sick to their stomach, or they have a bump on their chest. We have to have a picture of what happened. Okay. By Monday, those not Parsa, the rest of you need to have in your mind something to put in a chat about what are we going to tell a family member in simple terms that cancer is. Okay, questions about what you're supposed to do now, today? Are you happy or unhappy? Oh, Ken is happy because I'm going to let you have work time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
I know you need it. Yatson's happy. If you need help.
I'm actually very happy.
And Uriel's happy. And is that because I'm giving you work time today? Or just in general? I can't hear you. Okay, I think we lost him for a minute. So if you are behind, so I'm looking.
Now I can hear you. My bad.
Okay, you're happy because I'm giving you work time, Uriel?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Okay, excellent. So we want our students to be happy, but we also want them to be working. So if you are behind today and you haven't been in class, or you can't figure out what I'm talking about, come to office hours Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday at 8 o'clock on this link. I do not have a separate link anymore. So I thought it was stupid. Why have 2 links? Just get in class and do it. I can help you, or email me and I'll set up a Zoom. We can talk. I'll try to help you catch up. But don't suffer silently, because I can't help you if we don't talk. Okay, you are welcome to go. Yatsen, I'm going to go back and make sure that, and reload that module and make sure it's published. I know the assignment is published for the cell drawing. I'll be looking for your drawings. Dr. Ram? You're staying for a minute?
Yes, I'll stay for a minute. And thank you to everybody for your understanding about my computer situation.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it was really something this week, but it's great to see you all today. Thank you.
Thanks.
It was good to see you again.
We'll see you
Bye.
Monday.
Thank you. Thank
See you guys
you.
on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Usali. Bye, Davis. Need help, Emily or Cindy? Oh, Emily, are you there? So, Emily, you have work time now to work on your cell drawing or your homework that's missing. So the cell drawing is in the assignment list, and I don't know if you caught my explanation, but it's attached to the assignment. Okay, see you Monday. How are you doing?
Good. Do you want to stop recording?
Oh, good idea. Half the time I can't remember.